Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm looking at the price of Theta, and I looked at it the other day, but I wanted to give a little more attention to it. So basically, we are having a pump today. Can't really see it. Let me zoom in, and you can. Here we go. So we have been pumping about $1.01, all the way up to $1.15. So over the last 2 days or 3 days, we've had 12% increase, which is not bad at all, right? So going to the daily chart, we are up this day about almost 9%. So looking pretty good. Still not out of the woods yet. Still trying to figure out what Theta is doing. And one of the theories is I'm going to run some ideas and basically kind of comparing it towards Bitcoin. So, for example, Bitcoin right here, here's the price of Bitcoin. So, you see, we were in this sort of sideways or this ascending channel. So, you see the ascending channel right there? The right on target, right? It basically came up into this breakout, and then we started consolidating in an upwards drift, right? We started ascending in this ascending channel, and what happened? Boom! We broke out. We had a major breakout of this ascending channel. So, looking at the price of Theta, maybe that's what's happening here. So, check this out. So same thing, right? We have this pump to the upside, and now we have this channel that could potentially, lead to a breakout, right? So going back to Bitcoin real quick. So we had this pump, right? And then we had this channel, and then we broke out. So going back to Theta, what's happening now? Well, we have this pump, right? And now we're in this channel. So we could potentially break out just like Bitcoin did. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's just an idea to run by. Now you could put the channel down here too. Yeah, we'll see if that plays out. It's starting to look really nice, right? It's starting to look really good, and we can see a nice breakout. The other idea would be that we're in some type of ABC. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we have A. This is B, and now we're going to get C. Now it's kind of big, but still valid, right? And then we continue another 5 waves to the upside. Now the C can be short, it can be long, it can be a flat, it can come down pretty deep, right? But nonetheless, it's a C wave, right? Or it can be minute, right? It could be like a little like a triangle, right? A contracting triangle, and then we break out. So yeah, those are the two primary ideas that I have, which is Theta leading to a breakout, which basically would be this was a 1, 2. All of this is 3, 4, and now we're in the process of making 5. Once we get that 5, then we go down for ABC, and then we continue higher, right? And then in that case, it would be this channel right in here. So just the same as Bitcoin. So you can see Bitcoin, all that choppy price action in here, and basically it was just just a little channel, and we were coiling up, right? And then boom, pop to the upside. So yeah, I'm just kind of going back and forth so it can come to light. Boom. So that's a good idea, and it's very possible, and maybe even likely. But to understand more, let's zoom out a little bit and revisit what we had talked about before. So the main thing right now is to get above this resistance, which is at $1.32. So actually, let's say $1.30, about $1.30. So the biggest thing Theta can possibly do for all of us is to close above $1.30 on the 3-day chart, or better yet, the weekly chart. So, and one of the things, right, you can see it right in front of your face. You have a left shoulder, you come all the way down for the head. Now we're in a V bottom, right? This is the head. And then what happens next? The right shoulder. And then we break out. The question is the right shoulder, right? What are the possibilities of that right shoulder? Or does it even need to be there, right? Now, you could say that, look how small this shoulder was. So here's a shoulder right here. Look how small that was. Maybe we come up here and we just get a little one just like that, and then continue higher. Definitely possible, right? So, yeah, one of the things I've been talking about a lot was the 3 ideas, which is the bearish idea, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go. So that was the red path. The other path would be the purple one, right? Which is we come up to resistance, we pull down 50% of this wave, right? Not 50%, but 50% of the wave, right? So if you take this entire wave here, from here to here, and you cut it in half, well, it doesn't have to be half, just, around that area. Then we pull back into that area, so it'd be like a 50% retrace of this wave, and then we break out above this resistance. We break out, we back test, and then we continue higher. So that's sort of my main idea, right? Regardless of what happens, I believe we break out. So rather if it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we go, or we come up, we develop the right shoulder, then we go, or we just break out, there's resistance, consolidate, then we go. Either way, each direction, upside, 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 upside. They all point to more upside. The question becomes when. So this would take the longest. This would take, this would take the least amount of time. A little longer, and the most amount of time. So that's really how it becomes. Now, trying to figure out which one it is a tricky part, right? So if I zoom in, we can get a little more detail on what could potentially be going on. So if I go, let's go to the 16-hour chart. So those 2 black lines, obviously, those are our resistance points. And the current wave we are in now, is definitely an impulse wave. So, but this is what I kind of don't like. But again, Bitcoin proved it wrong, which is it sort of looks potentially like a rising wedge. It's not perfect, but usually rising wedges break to the downside. So let me try to draw that better. Something like that, where we're just sort of in this rising wedge, right? And or you call it diagonal, and in which case it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're in the 5th, and now it's done. Maybe we have a throw over, we tag the resistance, right? A throw over means we're breaking this line. We have a throw over. Then at that point, right, we would have an A, B, C, and then continue higher. And what would that be? what would that be? That would be A, B, C. And it would be like a flat C. So that would be a three-wave move. So 1, 2, 3. Remember, the market moves in 5s and 3s. So this would be a three-wave move, and then we would go. And then zooming out, let's see how that looks. Because when you draw something, you want to zoom out to see how it looks. That looks plausible. And that would definitely be a good contender for the right shoulder in here. So in other words, left shoulder, head, and now we're working out this right shoulder. Then once we work it out, then we can break this resistance and then go. So there you go. That would be a big another killer idea. Now all these ideas sort of intertwine with each other. So it's just about the short time frame. What can we expect? Now, like I said, option number 1, this looks like a rising wedge, right? We have a three-way pullback and then continuation. Or we have something more deep, right? Which is 1, 2, 3. Oh, let me draw that back. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, potentially 4, 5, right? Depends if it's a diag. But let's say it's not. Let's say it's just 3. Then what happens? Then we come up, which we're doing now, come down for C. So 5 waves down for C. And it's basically like the same thing as the other count, just a little drawn differently. Same idea, though. You know what I mean? So same idea. And then, long story short, A, B, C. So either way, all three of them are totally valid. Now, the bullish idea is going back to Bitcoin and basically saying, look at that channel in there. I'm gonna switch back and forth. There's Bitcoin, there's Theta. There's Bitcoin, there's Theta. And you can see, right? You can see a nice channel here. I'm not going to draw it perfect, but I'm just giving you the idea. So we oscillated in this channel, we broke out. Theta, same thing, right? So then how would that look? So here we go. So how would this look, right? This would be oscillating, breakout, right? But then let's zoom out to see how it would look. And does that give us any sort of right shoulder? And it really doesn't. So that's kind of why I'm like, I'm kind of on the fence. I'm a little torn right now. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter which way is right because we're all going to win. Why? Because we're all hodlers, right? If you hodl, you're not worried about it, right? And then you say, well, why even watch it? Well, because you want to know ideas. You want to have possibilities. That way, if it does something and you're not expecting it, you can go, oh, that makes sense that it dumped like that because this is the reason why. TA is usually if this, then this. If this happens, then this happens, right? If this doesn't happen, then this potentially may happen. So it's all about probabilities, right? So going back to that bullish idea, you have your shoulder, your head, and then I guess this can be a shoulder right here. Doesn't look good, but you see that wick right there, and then we pull down. So it's a little something there, right? Maybe if so let me actually go to the daily chart. So I don't know. Do you think this constitutes as a shoulder? It's kind of small, right? So let me just draw it like this, and now we'll zoom out. And there you go. that could be that could be all we need right there, right? And then that could be like a smaller version, right? So you have this big shoulder, but then you also have this little shoulder right here, this head, and now this little shoulder. So this could be potentially the idea, right? So left shoulder, small left shoulder, head, small right shoulder, and then breakout. So there you go. I'm not trying to keep this video long. I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes if possible, but there you go. That's the those are the ideas right there. So basically you have an ABC, or this can be a rising wedge, in which case you have ABC like this, right? You have 1, 2 like this, and then we go, or we just have an ABC down here, retracing or back testing this. That was a horrible draw, but basically you get the idea. Back testing this support, right? Come down here and then swoop up. But either way, it's calling for a pullback, right? Or at least more consolidation. So there you go, guys. That's basically it for Theta. Now, something to keep in mind, the altcoin is bullish. It's very bullish right now. We have a lot of bullish momentum on our side, right? The market is relatively healthy, and it has momentum. So it could very well be the channel idea, right? Where we have this channel, and look at today. Look at today. We have a bullish. Look at this. We have a bullish engulfing candle today. And this candle is going to break above this high, and it's going to break above this high. So we're going to have a new daily high. This is basically not an all-time high, but relatively a new high. We have a brand new high if we can close above. Basically, the candle will close above. So let me draw a line here. We're going to put it right there. Okay, and now we're going to zoom out. So Theta has not had this high. If it closes above, we have 1 hour. We have 1 hour, and probably by the time you're watching this, it's already done. So back over here, back in April. So basically, Theta has had an 8-month high. That's amazing. So if the daily candle closes where it is right now, that will be the highest daily close since April, 8 months ago. That is incredibly bullish. So, in other words, this is basically ramping up to be like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, just like how Bitcoin was, and then potentially a big breakout, right? So we'll have to wait and see, but it's looking really healthy. Now, would I bet on a pullback? No. Right? An A, B, C, and then go? No, I wouldn't bet on it. Right? Would I bet on it breaking out? It looks more like it could potentially break out, because look at, we have this bullish engulfing candle today, and it's closing above this high and this high. But keeping in mind, this does look like a rising wedge. See how it's wedging in? So if we can break out of here, then obviously it invalidates it, right? So there you go. I think that's some good information there on this update for Theta. And I think we do have what it takes to get out of here. Now, if we don't, if this starts dumping, it's not a big deal. It's totally fine, because then at that point, it's just an A, B, C. And then we come down here, we take out this low, we grab the liquidity, and then we go. So either way, it's incredibly bullish. So to me, it doesn't matter if we go this way or this way, because both directions lead to upside, right? So, but yeah, I would keep an eye on that daily candle. It looks really, really good. So let's go real quick. I know I was trying to keep it under 20 minutes, but it's okay because it's Theta. Check this out. The weekly candle ends in 2 days. So if it ends right where it is, look at that. It's going to be breaking above this right here. So let me draw that perfectly. I'll put it right there. It's okay, right about there. And check this out. We have, here was our resistance, right? The weekly candle. This was back in April. Back in April, if we break above this, which we are right now, and we close above it, this will be the highest weekly close in 8 months. Highest weekly close in 8 months. I mean, come on in, you guys. Look at that. That's awesome. So, yeah. It'll be definitely interesting to see how the next week goes. But, yeah, that's basically it for Theta. Targets. Everybody wants to know targets. Well, targets are for more of a longer term thing, but I can give you a couple. It's hard to, because this correction isn't over unless it's starting to go, right? So for example, if this is an ABC, then what I would do is I would take the Fibonacci extension, I would take it from here up to here and then down to the C wave, but we don't have the C wave yet, if potentially, right? So then I would just take it to where we are now. So then the short-term target, right, would be $1.48. So let me put that right there, and then I'll put this right there. Yeah, about $1.48. And then if it really wanted to showcase its bullishness, $1.86. So basically the one-to-one extension. So the one-to-one of this, so that would be one-to-one right in there. So that would be a good area to look for, $1.48. If we can start this channel idea and we break out, look for $1.48 all the way up to $1.86. So those are your short-term targets. Long-term targets, I'll save that for another video. We're not even there yet, but trust me, the long-term targets are very juicy. And yeah, it deserves its own video for itself because it's so remarkable how Theta has performed over the last several years, and wouldn't expect anything less because honestly, it has the utility value, it has the fundamental value, it has the chart, right? It has this beautiful base in here, which is what we wanted. It has this just like unbelievable rally from what, 3 cents all the way up to what, $15? 3 cents to $15 is insane. And now what is it doing? It has this downward correction, right? And all corrections, impulse, correction, breakout. And that's what I'm expecting. Not financial advice, but anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching the video. If you can, leave a like, leave a comment, and I will catch you on the next one. And by the way, if you want to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, it's in the description box below. You can follow me on those two links down there. So yeah, hope to see you on social media. And remember, hodl. Take care.